What do you do when you're freaking bored? So, in the past, I've talked about, ELs using their time wisely, and doing something in the meantime to benefit themselves and others, or go closer towards your goal. Recently, I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff with work, personal projects, and just the salon. And one thing I've been working on is actually this new interface, a backup interface. I want to use it to put this on Raspberry Pis, the little small computers, and essentially it's just a backup user interface. And it'll do little things like if you click here on destination, it opens up that destination. What I usually do is I take a template, chop it up however I want it, and then take the elements out of it that I need to get my whole thing across, or do what I want to do. And I design first, so I design everything, and then I go forward and making it all work. So this is still design stuff where I'm just like getting the forms right, collecting it and put it so I can collect all the data and then clean that up, getting things like this, and then I start working on database planning, and even doing cool things like this is cool for me, like having this drop down. That's really cool, and that disappears. But again, that's all in a template, and I just chop the template up and do whatever I want. Essentially with this project, what it's going to do is back up target machines or servers, and then take that information, or you put in your target server and where all the information is going, and then from there you just let the backup job run. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that, how I'm going to kick that script off. Most likely it will be a cron job of some sort. We'll see how that'll all work. But you have a user interface. This is a combination of 3 different things, which is HTML for your front-end code, then JavaScript and PHP. PHP is implemented or used via AJAX queries and requests. For those that know what that is. I don't even know what the acronym means, actually. I'm not gonna lie. But this is really cool because this has a graphing element to it called Morris charts. And as you go across it, the information here actually changes, which is nice. And then I just got these buttons to work. So essentially, once you click here, this is your historical data, but this is actually randomized data. So every time I click on it, it's always something different. It's gonna eventually pull from a database, and then once it pulls all that information from a database, then it's gonna output it here, however I want it. So if I wanted to do here a week, a month, a year, or all data, and every time you change it, since it's randomized data, it just changes every single time. And then of course there's the refresh section here, which just does the same thing. And then just doing other cool little things, or having it do other cool little things, such as when you refresh the page, it actually counts up, and those values at the top are taken from, will be taken from a database. Right now they're they're put in there statically, and eventually I'll put it to where that information actually gets generated, from all the backup jobs and everything that runs. So that's really cool. And then of course I work on my documentation page and putting that on, so I can I put this on GitHub, so I have all my commits and everything like that here. And this is kind of how the back end looks. So this is the historical graphing PHP code. So it actually puts all this information out in JSON, in a JSON format. Again, I don't remember. I think it's Java something. I forgot what JSON means. But JSON is just a type of format where it has data pairs. So you have data in a pair. So it'll be your label and then the data for that label. and then all that goes. So you have your JavaScript functions here, and then, or you have your Ajax function, like, which is like this one here. So that's a representation of Ajax function. I'm not sure if you probably really can't see it, so I apologize for that. But then you have the information here, as far as like what actually this randomizes all that. Eventually I'll switch this over to where it actually queries the database and then puts all that information in and then spits it out to graph it here. And then of course the colors themselves, I didn't really choose. I think I chose one of them. I add one. No, maybe. No, yeah, I did add one. One color. But I like these colors. They're soft and they're what's it called? They're fairly inviting, and then you can always change them, of course. But I do like the way the colors look, so that's pretty cool. But essentially, I mean, this is what I do and like what I look at on a regular basis, or what I have been looking at for like the past week or so, where I have this and then I have to like go through here, and this is how I actually look at or to help assist myself with the design work, and then of course watch my YouTube stuff. But the basic point of all this whole entire video really is just saying, do something that's beneficial, get you towards or help you progress. In this case, this helps me in the way that, or in the form of allowing me to learn, refresh certain skills that I've dealt with in the past. There's a lot of things I just totally forgot, and then you don't realize that you forget it until you have to actually try and bring that information out of the abyss of your mind or whatever, and you're like, what the fudge, I forgot how I did this, how I did that. I've had to look at other coding examples via Google, or just even via the what's it called, my own code base from my previous projects on GitHub. This is like my company page, but I did all these projects here. This is the latest one, and then this one I haven't even uploaded ever, which I'll probably commit it here pretty soon. There's just kind of a little bit of an issue with it. I gotta kind of sanitize the data a little bit so it doesn't give up some stuff that I don't want to give up, but at the same time I want to put it up there because I need to get that saved and backed up to something like a repository like this. But this is like the GitHub for my company. But along with all the other stuff that I do in business, you know, finding that, I guess, finding that path that you want to take is very important. And for you to be able to actually be beneficial to yourself, and do things that will improve your life and get you closer to your goals, you're gonna have to really use your time, not just wisely, but you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of other things in some cases, and that goes to using your time wisely, and sometimes not look at some of the things that are going on around you in the sense of you know, the usual back and forth that you may have with other people about subjects that might hit you emotionally. And I think it's very important that we focus on things that will benefit us and push us towards our ultimate goal, whatever that may be, whatever you view success as. I think it's very important, and if we don't push ourselves and push ourselves or make ourselves really look away, then we'll be keeping ourselves from creating, I guess you could say, things of beauty. In this case, I really just like the way this thing looks. The colors are real nice. Has like an Easter feel to it. I feel like a lot of creativity went into this. It has a lot of functionality. Things that, like, there's a lot of things that, you know, I still have to like actually get working, like this here, these windows. Oh, that sucks. Okay, boom. Like stuff like that. All these different effects. And it's like somebody made this template while even myself, I'm here focusing on things that even I find as trivial that go on in my everyday life. And I mean, and that's outside of some of the things that, I do on YouTube, conversations I have with BG or on BGS's Hangouts, or comments that I leave on videos, like things that really are beneficial but should only count for a small portion of your day-to-day. Getting information, communicating with people, so on and so forth. Even dealing with things in my other businesses, getting mad over certain things, perceived unfairness that I've talked about in the past, things that don't totally benefit you in the long run, but they will teach you lessons, but they're a small part of the whole. And when you have an outlook to where you're looking at everything as, or you're looking at a lot of things that are small and making them a little bit bigger in your life, I think it's definitely a detriment to you. It's something that's going to hold you back. And that may be something like, relationships. That may be like love relationships, family relationships, and just dealing with issues that may come up even at work, what have you. Use your time wisely. Try and create something. Try and do something that is going to benefit you and the people around you. The only thing I can really say, I've already gone on quite a bit, but I just thought of this, and it's like I wanted to revisit this subject, or this whole series in a sense, because I think this is my third video on this. But do great works, and to do great works, sometimes you really have to look at what you're viewing as a big deal and step back and say, no, it's not, and moving on to do other things that can be very beneficial to you. So just wanted to say that, as usual, always very loose in the conversation, no true directive. This one's fairly long, but I hope you get something from it. I really do hope you get something from it. All right, as always, thanks for listening. Peace.